What if I told you that anyone, regardless of skill level when it comes to building things, could build a chicken coop in about an afternoon all by themselves for just about $200? And the chicken coop will be safe, secure, and capable of comfortably holding 10 to 12 chickens. This kind of chicken coop isn't going to work for everybody. There are a few certain requirements that you need in order to make it work, but it can be a safe, effective, and cheap alternative to some of the more expensive chicken coops out there. If you're anything like me, you came into this whole homesteading thing with a lot of enthusiasm, but maybe not so much experience, money, or time. My first chickens, the first 6 that I started with, I actually got before I thought about where to house them. And as a result, they ended up spending probably about a month living in a large dog crate that I brought in and out of my garage for safety every morning when I went to work, and then put them back in every night so that they had a safe structure to be in. I know probably a lot of you are in the same situation. I've seen YouTube videos and I've been on the Facebook pages and seen just how lack of planning can affect your chicken keeping. You get the little babies, you can keep them in a tiny little brooder, and the kids, they grow up fast these days, don't they? Next thing you know, you're out of time and you need to find a place for them to live. But it can be expensive. Chicken coops are not cheap. So what are you gonna do? I'll show you what I did. When people first get into keeping chickens, housing is usually what they end up spending the most amount of money on. Chicken coops can be very expensive. You can find some for between $200 all the way up to $3,000 to $6,000, depending on how many chickens you want to house, how nice you want it to look, etc. If you want all of the bells and whistles, you're definitely going to pay for it. But in reality, a chicken's needs really aren't that much. All they need is a place that's safe from predators for overnight. They need a place to roost at night so that they can sleep. And if you have laying hens, a place to lay their eggs would be super nice. But that's really all a chicken needs when it comes to housing. So you don't have to get super fancy with it. In fact, the more creative you are, the more money you can save. My personal situation in this story is that I had 46 3-week-old chicks that I've been brooding. I'm hoping to keep some as breeding stock and to sell the rest, so I don't plan on keeping all 46 for myself, but they were quickly outgrowing the brooder. So 46 chicks in a tiny little 4x4 or 4x2 brooder or something like that. They just quickly outgrew it. So I wanted to give them a little bit more space, and I know that I'm going to need a grow out pen for them anyway until they all sell. So I decided that the safest building that I have for my chickens is my garage. I don't really have the money to buy something super fancy, but I do have a cinder block garage that I'm not really using for anything other than as a barn. I store my feed in there, I store bedding in there, and I also have 2 other chicken coops that I've built with found materials and gifted materials, so I didn't spend anything on them. But I have 2 chicken coops that I built into the corners of the garage. So I decided that I was going to set up another chicken coop in the garage where it would be the cinder block walls, nothing can get in. Unless I leave the door wide open, the building itself is 100% predator proof. Now, as far as the $200 comes in, I can just let these chickens run around in the garage loose. So what I did, I ended up buying this chicken, they call it a chicken coop, but it's more of a chicken run. It's made out of aluminum, and it fits together really super easy. So easy to put together. I managed to put it together by myself in one afternoon. So the pieces, they just kind of clip together. The directions are super duper easy to follow. The hardest part really was just stringing the chicken wire, which if you wanted something that was going to be more predator proof, if you had to have this outside, you could probably swap that out for hardware cloth, but it comes with green chicken wire, which I wouldn't trust if it was the only structure keeping the chickens safe overnight. I do believe that if a raccoon really wanted to, they could probably get in a couple hours. So I wouldn't count on it 100% for safety, but I was just going to use it inside my cinder block garage in order to keep the chicks contained.
This is the finished product. It's more than big enough to house all 46 chicks and give them plenty of time to grow out. I used a found piece of wood to make a little ramp so that when they get old enough, I can let them outside into a run on the other side. And I also used found material to make a little roost. The chicks seemed to enjoy having the extra space, and a few even checked out the roost. All in all, I would call this a success. I'm actually so happy with how this turned out that I'm planning to replace the 2 other coops that are here in the garage with structures like this.
So as you can see, this is a quick, relatively cheap method for keeping chickens. It's super easy, it's super budget friendly, and it does the job. It might not be fancy, aesthetically pleasing or anything like that, but it does get the job done. And I estimate that this one should probably be able to comfortably hold between 3 and probably 10, maybe 12 chickens comfortably, especially if you have a run attached to the outside, which I do plan to do. If I'm going to use it for adults, I'm still up in the air on whether it's just going to be a grow out pen for juveniles or if I am going to have laying hens in there as part of the breeding program. Still up in the air about that one. But as you can see, housing chickens doesn't have to be expensive. If you already have a safe, secure structure on your property that you're not using for anything else, why not take advantage of it and put up something cheap and quick and easy to put up, just like this was. Let me know in the comments if you guys have done anything like this or if you would consider doing something like this. I would love to hear about what everyone else is doing out there, or if you've come up with a different material to use for a creative type of chicken coop. Anything that's just not the standard thing, let me know in the comments below. Encourage everyone that you can afford chickens, you just have to get creative.